Introducing my group.
Kasama ka, bosang siya, tunay na kaibigan, di kita iiwanan. Kasama ka, buti-mo't pula, tunay na kaibigan.
Prenatal development. The process of prenatal development occurs in three main stages. The first 2 weeks after conception are known as the genital stage. The third through the 8th week is known as the embryonic period, and the time from the 9th week until birth is known as the fetal period. Genital stage. The genital stage begins at conception when the sperm and egg cell unite in one of the two fallopian tubes. The fertilized egg is called a zygote. Just a few hours after conception, the single-celled zygote begins making a journey down the fallopian tube to the uterus. Cell division begins approximately 24 to 36 hours after conception. Through the process of mitosis, the zygote first divides into 2 cells, then into 4, 8, 16, and so on. A significant number of zygotes never progress past this early part of cells division, with as many as half of all zygotes surviving less than 2 weeks. Embryonic stage. At this point, the mass of cells known as the embryo. The beginning of the 3rd week after conception marks the start of the embryonic period, a time when the mass of cell becomes distinct as a human. The embryonic stage plays an important role in the development of the brain. Approximately 4 weeks after conception, the neural tube forms. This tube will later develop into central nervous system, including the spinal cord and brain. The neural tube begins to form along with an area known as the neural plate. The earliest sign of development of the neural tube are the emergence of two ridges that form along each side of the neural plate. Over the next few days, more ridges form and fold inward until a hollow tube is formed. Once this tube is fully formed, cells begin to form near the center. The tube begins to close and brain vesicles. These vesicles will eventually develop into parts of the brain, including the structures of the forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. Fetal stage. Once cell differentiation is mostly complete, the embryo enters the next stage and becomes known as a fetus. The fetal period of prenatal development marks more important changes in the brain. The period of development begins during the 9th week and lasts until birth. This stage is marked by amazing change and growth. The early body systems and structures established in the embryonic stage continue to develop. The neural tube develops into the brain, and spinal cord and neurons continue to form. Once these neurons have formed, they begin to migrate to their correct locations. Synapses, or the connection between neurons, also begin to develop. Between the 9th and 12th week of gestation, reflexes begin to emerge. The fetus begins to make reflexive motions with its arms and legs. During third month of gestation, the sex organs begin to differentiate. By the end of the month, all parts of the body will form. At this point, the fetus weighs around 3 ounces. The fetus continues to grow in both weight and length. Although the majority of physical growth occurs the later stages and of pregnancy. So as a pregnant woman, you should avoid stress and emotions and make some exercise for a healthy pregnancy.
Motor development. Physical development refers to a child's rate of growth and control over muscles, coordination, and ability to sit, stand, walk, run. Motor development is part of physical development and refers to the growth in the ability of children to use their bodies and physical skills. Motor development can be divided into gross motor skills and fine motor skills. Gross motor skills refer to a child's ability to control larger parts of the body, including balance, coordination, purposeful control, locomotion, and stability. Fine motor skills refers to the level of coordination and the ability to manipulate smaller body parts such as using thumb and forefingers to
Social development. Family. As basic and essential building blocks of societies, family have crucial role in society's development. They bear the primary responsibility, the education, socialization of children, as well as instilling value of citizenship and belonging in the society. Punishment by Gersoff, 2002. Meta-analysis demonstrate that harsh physical punishment negatively influence the children's relationship as well as judgment in both childhood and adulthood. Further, shorter terms behavior gains as function of corporal punishment were not associated with long-term benefits. Also, is a structure that helps children fit into real world happily and effectively. Sibling relationship. A positive sibling relationship also influences the development of children's society and cognitive skills. Research seems that it indicates that children with older siblings perform better at assessing other people's inner states and behavior than children without older siblings. Environment. Environment changing is also a social justice issue. Through this work, the Environment and Social Development Initiative aims to contribute to a more environmentally stable world in which people have equitable and open opportunities to live full, healthy, and productive lives. Culture. Culture theory is an emergency theory in physiology that looks the important contribute the society makes to individual development. This theory stresses that interaction between developing people and culture in which they live. Social economic status. Social economic status is the social and financial lives of an individual in society. Socioeconomic status impact a young children a cognitive language, social, physical, and emotional development. Participation in social organization. A social organization is a pattern of the relationship between and among individual and social group. This interaction comes together to contribute common features in basics social units such as family, enterprise, club, state, etc. This social organization. school program is about improving the well-being of every individual in society so they can reach their full potential means investigating in people. It requires the removal of barriers so that all citizens journey towards their dreams with confidence and integrity. Language development. Language development is an important part of child development. It supports your child's ability to communicate. It also supports your child's ability to express and understand feelings, think and learn, solve problems, develop and maintain relationships. Also, language development support many other aspects of develop, like cognitive, social, and literacy development. Language development starts with sound and gesture, then word and sentence. You can support language development by talking a lot with your child and responding when your child is communicating. Reading books and sharing stories is good for language development. If you are worried about language development, talking with a child health professional. The best way to encourage your child's language develop is to do a lot of talking together about things that interest your child. Talking with your child. Talk with your child and treat them as a talker. The key is to use many different words in different contexts. Reading and sharing books about plenty of different topics lets your child hear words used in many different ways. The first 8 years. 3 to 12 months. At 3 months, your baby will most likely COO, smile and loud. At around 4 to 6 months, baby will probably start babbling. 12 to 18 months, at this age, children often saying their first word with meaning. 18 months to 2 years, most children will start to put 2 words together into short sentence. 2 to 3 years, your children must likely speak in sentence of 3 to 4 words and getting better at saying words correctly. 3 to 5 years, you can expect longer, more complex conversations about your children's thoughts and feelings. 5 to 8 years, during the early school years, your children will learn more words and start to understand now the sound with language work together.
Intellectual development. Economic status or socioeconomic status is the social standing or class of an individual or group. It is often measured as a combination of education, income, and occupation. Examination of socioeconomic status often reveal inequities in access to resources, plus issues related to privilege, power, and control. Heredity. The passing of a physical or mental characteristic genetically from one generation to another. Example of heredity is defined as the characteristic we get genetically from our parents and our relatives before them. An example of heredity is the likelihood that you will have blue eyes. An example of heredity is your possibility of having breast cancer based on family history. Environment. An enriching and stimulating home environment fosters healthy growth and brain development by providing a child with love, emotional support, and opportunities for learning and exploration. In families where only one parent is present, there are often fewer economic and emotional resources. How do environmental factors contribute to early childhood development? Frequently, physical environmental factors like exposure to toxins or substances before or after birth can impact a child's physical development. Problems associated with this kind of exposure might be low birth weight, premature birth, or may major long-term medical problems. Maturation is the process of development that occurs as we grow and change. There are many types of maturation, including physical and cognitive. Physical maturation occurs when our body grows and changes as we get older. Cognitive maturation is the process of development in the way we think as we grow. Learning. Children learn in many different ways. Each children has his own way of learning. Some learn visually, others touch, taste, and sound. Watch a group of children and you'll understand at once what this means. One child will sit and listen patiently. Another cannot wait to move and count beads. Another wants you to show her the answer over and over. Children also learn in different ways depending on their developmental stage. One thing we know is all children love to learn new things by exploring and discovering. Children love to solve problems during play and in daily activities. Health and physical conditions. Health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. A resource for every life, not the objective of living. Health is a positive concept emphasizing social and personal resources as well as physical capacities. This means that health is a resource to support an individual function in wider society rather than an end in itself. A healthful lifestyle provides the means to lead a full life with meaning and purpose. Mental and physical health are probably the two most frequently discussed types of health. Spiritual, emotional, and financial health also contribute to overall health. Medical experts have linked this to lower stress level and improved mental and physical well-being. People with better financial health, for example, may worry less about finances and have the means to buy fresh foods more regularly. Those with good spiritual health may feel a sense of calm and purpose that fuels good mental health. Physical health. A person who has good physical health is likely to have bodily function and processes working at their peak. This is not only to an absence of disease. Regular exercise, balanced nutrition, and adequate rest all contribute to good health. People receive medical treatment to maintain the balance when necessary. Physical well-being involves pursuing a healthful lifestyle to decrease the risk of disease. Maintaining physical fitness, for example, can protect and develop the endurance of a person's breathing and heart function, muscular strength, flexibility, and body composition. Looking after physical health and well-being also involves reducing the risk of an injury or health issues, such as minimizing hazards in the workplace, using contraception when having sex, practicing effective hygiene, avoiding the use of tobacco, alcohol, or illegal drugs, taking the recommended vaccines for a specific condition or country when traveling. Good physical health can work in tandem with mental health to improve a person's overall quality of life. Experience. From the moment babies are born, sensory experiences begin to play a role in their development. For example, genetic may influence how a child's brain is wired from birth, but learning and experience that will literally shape how the child's brain grows and develops.
Emotional development refers to the ability to recognize, express, and manage feelings at different stages of life and to have empathy for the feelings of others. The development of these emotions, which includes both positive and negative emotions, is largely affected by relationship with parents, siblings, and peers. Infants between the age of 6 and 10 weeks begin to show emotion with a social smile accompanied by action and sounds that represent pleasure. The social smile develops in response to caregivers' smiles and interactions. Around 3 to 4 months, infants begin to laugh, which demonstrates that they can recognize incongruity in action that divide from the norm. From 6 to 12 months, infants can begin to express emotions such as fear, disgusting, anger, and sadness, which indicate to caregivers that they are experiencing discomfort or displeasure and need attention. Infants will respond to their emotions to the degree that their caregivers respond and then learn from their emotional facial. During a child's second year, toddlers begin expressing shame, embarrassment, and pride, which are learned emotions based on their culture. As they acquire language and learn to verbalize their feelings, they can express their emotions of affections, distress, pain, and fatigue. The ability to recognize and label emotions and then to control emotional expression in ways that are consistent with culture expectations is called emotional regulation. Children learn to self-regulate their emotions to be able to cope with difficult situations. Usually by age 2, children also begin to acquire the complex emotional response of empathy by reading others' emotional casts and understanding their perspectives. Maturation. When we think about maturity, the first thing that comes to mind is usually age. However, when it comes to emotional maturity, the age of a person is not always an accurate indicator. Instead, emotional maturity relates to an individual's ability to both manage and understand their emotions. There are many dimensions to emotional maturity, but to put it simply, emotional maturity helps us to cope with the difficult situation life throws at us. As such, being emotionally mature can help one to navigate the modern world and find fulfillment and happiness within it. Social emotional learning thus in fact enhance children's academic success while preventing problems such as mental health disorders and violence. Social emotional competencies empower kids to grow self-aware and confident to manage difficult emotions and impulses, and to embody empathy, which translates to not only improve behavior but also test scores. Physical condition, the condition of state of the body or bodily functions. Physiology conditions, physiological state. An emotional environment is one that promotes emotional well-being and provides stability for the children according to their individual needs. A good emotional environment will provide their children with adults who will provide them with emotional support, understanding their feelings and showing empathy, a sense of feeling safe and secure enabling them to learn and develop, giving them the confidence to explore and overcome any challenges they may face. A safe place to explore their feelings, knowing they will be accepted by the adults around them, and supported to develop how they express their feelings over a range of emotions, positive and negative. Warmth and a welcoming and accepting environment, inclusivity where everyone is valued, embracing all cultures, genders, ethnicity, language, religion, special educational needs, and disabilities. Support to develop their independence and life skills. A good emotional environment will provide a secure base from which children grow into well-rounded, capable adults with robust mental health. There are certain traits that parents pass on their children, including eye color, hair color, height, and their physical characteristics. The coding for these traits are contained inside DNA molecules that are present within all human cells. Since the discovery of DNA by James Watson in the 1950s, the science of genetics has focused on the study of DNA and the ways in which physical traits are passed on from generation to generation. Training is the process of learning the skills that you need for a particular job or activity. The action of teaching a person or animals a particular skills or type of behavior. Health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being and hone merely an absence of disease or infirmity. Families are the first and most important influence on a child's social-emotional development. For the most part, families naturally fulfill this responsibility by simply being responsive to their child's need and providing a safe environment to grow and learn. As children grow older, their social-emotional development continues through their experiences and interactions with extended family, teachers, sports, activities, peers, friends, community leaders, media personalities, and many other life experiences. As parents, it is important to encourage our children to expand their circle of influence and to find more ways to support their social-emotional growth. The goal is to raise happy children who become positive, contributing members of our society.